Welcome to Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie and Al for Father's
Yay!
Day. Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Happy Father's Day to you, Dad.
Thank
I'm so
you.
glad
Happy
that you
Father's
could
Day.
come and say hello on our video today. Are you having a good day so far?
Oh, yeah. Having a good day.
Good, good. What you
Looking
got planned
forward
for?
to dinner at my favorite restaurant, the Roundhouse in Trenton. And I'll probably have ribs. And also looking forward to spending time with two of my grandsons today. So
Oh, that sounds
fun
good. I
day.
wish we could be there with you too, and you could
I
have
know.
all of your grandsons and all of your grandchildren together. But
That'd be great.
oh, we just live too far away for that. So
Yeah.
You could always move closer.
I think you guys are the ones who moved farther away from us. So it's your
Yeah,
fault.
we won't go there. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye. Enjoy.
Oh, enjoy the rest of your day, Dad. Love you.
Thank you.
Oh, Jim and Claire are at a softball tournament and they're coming home later today. So I'm going to make a special meal for him. And I don't know what time they're going to be home, actually. It depends on how many games that they win. So it's a little bit of a quiet day, but hopefully we'll end with some special time with Jim. And I hope that you guys enjoy your dinner tonight and time with Miles and Anthony. And I so wish we could all be together.
Wish you could too. He wanted a chocolate cake with buttercream frosting. So when we get back from dinner, and then we'll either watch a movie, maybe play some games, or we'll do something, whatever suits his fancy after dinner. So
That sounds good. Well, should we
yeah.
just jump right in?
I think we should.
All right. Well, we didn't really think so much about it being Father's Day when we decided to choose our featured product today, because this is really more of like a Mother's Day kind of a suite. But I'm excited. We had a couple people that commented that said, "Hey, show the Pansy Petals Suite," and this was already on our list. So this is what we're going to feature today, and I have to tell you, this suite is a little overwhelming because there's just so many dynamics to it. And so I'm going to show you really quickly everything that comes in the suite, how it all works, and then we're going to jump in and share our projects. We've got 2 fun fold cards to share with you today, and I think you're really going to love it. So whether you're using the pansies or not, the cards we're going to share today are something that you can do with anything. This Pansy Suite, if you purchase the entire suite up here with the item number, you get the stamp set and coordinating dies, the designer paper, and then also the bumblebee trinkets. These were on back order or not orderable for a while, and they are back in stock. I just checked. And so I'm super excited that those are back. These are flat on one side, and then you've got the I'm not going to say solid gold, but it's solid gold tone there. Solid metal little bee. So he's super cute. The designer paper is 12 by 12, and this is a double-sided paper, just like all our papers. So you've got sort of a busy flower pattern on one side with a more neutral pattern on the other. Some of these pieces you could fussy cut if you wanted to. And then other ones are patterns that fit with the dies. So all of the flowers, both the small one and the big one, and both of the different styles of leaves, there's like a shorter one and a longer one, can be die cut with the dies that come in the Pansy Patch die set. So I love it when they do this, when they have coordinating dies that go with the designer paper and with the stamp set. So you can kind of see right here. So I did die cut some ahead of time. And so this makes it really easy to just sit and create your cards. You don't have to go through all the fussiness of stamping. I'm going to use some die cuts on the card that I'm making today, but I wanted to show you how the stamps and how the dies all work together. I've got some stuff under here, so I'm trying to make sure it's not sticking. So you can see these are distinctive stamps. We've got some different shading and different layers, and I love that. It's also a 2-step, 3-step, 5-step stamp set. You add the solid and then the details, and then there's even more details on the inside. So you're going to see, I'm going to stamp one, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different stamps to comprise the flower. So it's really awesome. This is a photopolymer stamp set. Oh, most of them are out. It's a photopolymer stamp set, so it makes it really easy to line up those different steps. And then we've got these detailed dies that also layer in multiple steps to create beautiful images. So you can use some of them to die cut the stamped images, and then the detailed ones layer. And you can see like it has even some embossing. So I'm going to show you those up close as well. Let me let me move this again. So here we have some detailed die cuts, and I want to point out that if you're using white cardstock, you don't get as good of an impression with the regular basic white. Can you see the difference between these? So this one is the regular basic white, and this one is the thick. And so on the thick one, you definitely get better detail. So if you're die cutting with the white cardstock, I highly recommend using the thick cardstock. Now the colored cardstock is thicker already, so you get that detail. It's thick enough that it shows up really well on the colored cardstock. And then all these pieces just kind of layer together with the little detailed die cuts. And you know, I am not a fussy like stamper, so piecing together all these little pieces on these flowers, this is a little much for me. But I did it, and I created this card, which I cased from the catalog. Let me show you the catalog image here. I'm going to move it back in. So the original sample was one of the ombre gift bags, and so I just made it a card and added a little strip of the designer paper on the side, but otherwise I tried to keep it pretty close to the original. So I've used some of the bumblebee gingham ribbon, and I layered the designer paper. This is a new embossing folder. So lots of texture, but all these little pieces, like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to do it again. I'm going to be honest. Have you used these dies to create detailed flowers like this?
Not yet. I've just been doing some other fun things with this suite. So, like you, I'm a little intimidated by all the different pieces. So I don't know. I might try it. I should try it. I need to. Yeah.
It's like a deep dive. Like you got to just spend some time with it. Now, I've got a black thumb, so I struggled a lot with like knowing what colors to use and how to cut them. So I really looked a lot at the catalog, and it kind of shows you some different, how to put the pieces together here and maybe what colors to use. The other thing I did is I went to the sample recipe document. This is something that Stampin' Up! Has created, and until recently, I thought we weren't allowed to share it, that it was a demonstrator only document. And I asked Stampin' Up! Like so many times, they're like, no, you can't share it. But I saw other people sharing it. And recently, Sarah Douglas, the CEO of Stampin' Up! Said, yeah, you can share it. So now they're like, oh yeah, you can share it. So you can download this. It doesn't have any of my information. It is just straight up the document from Stampin' Up! You can grab it at juliedavison.com/downloads/AC for annual catalog 2021 _recipes.pdf. So this is a really long document. It's 175 pages, and it has individual pictures of each sample from the catalog, as well as like a supply list. So even though this isn't necessarily recipes, sometimes there's like a little instruction. It does not give measurements, but I found for the pansies, it was really helpful to know what colors they used. And so when I was making these cards, like this one that I copied, I looked at the colors of cardstock they used. And when I was stamping this one, it did kind of say what they used for each layer stamping off. So I highly recommend checking out the supply list to get an idea of what colors to use. The other thing I do is use the designer paper as well to get a good feel for what colors. So let me show you.
The other thing you can do, Julie, is you can go online and look at photographs of pansies, because they come in a lot of different colors and color combinations, ones you wouldn't maybe normally think. So that's another idea to get
That's a good idea. Although sometimes like I don't know how to translate that, you know, like
Oh, yeah.
but I love that idea because pansies do come in so many colors. I think that's why I feel so intimidated. So here's a combination to start with that Stampin' Up! Used in a catalog, and then you can go rogue and crazy and, you know, try mixing and matching different colors. So the first layer here is Pale Papaya. And actually, I'm gonna jump forward a little bit because I find that stamping the detail first makes it easier to stamp the solid image. So this one, oh, I did that wrong. I was supposed to stamp off. All right, hold on. Okay, here's a scrap paper. All right, so I'm stamping off on the Calypso, and that's going to create sort of a medium coral tone. And then I'm going to add the Pale Papaya. So now you can see how well you can see through the stamp. It's easier to line up that solid image over the detail than it is to go the other way around. So I would start with the detail and then add that solid one. So we've got some nice layering going on here with the different colors. And this is why I think it's so hard to like know how to break it down, because there are so many steps. So here's the third. Oh, I was supposed to stamp off on that too. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's start again. Oh, I'm telling you, I was so intimidated by this with all the different layers. Okay, so we stamped off for the Calypso Coral, and this is what that supply list says. It actually breaks down, like stamp off this, stamp off that. That wasn't centered very well. Okay, now you know why it took me so long to get ready for this video. Okay, stamp off on the Bumblebee. All right, so now we got a nice lighter yellow there. And then we're gonna go full strength with the Calypso Coral.
That is so pretty.
And then the last little thing, the center is Blackberry Bliss.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
So it looks really cool once you put it all together, but like it's just a lot of figuring out with the different colors and the layers. So let me show you the finished sample. I gotta close these before I stick my hand in it.
Oh, we won't have that discussion now. I do that a lot.
Okay, there's the finished card.
So pretty. Oh, so, Julie.
Even though I stamped all this, like it was just as fussy as all the die cutting, because I still had to die cut all the flowers and the stems and the leaves. And this one came right from the catalog too. Like I only changed one little thing. Uh-oh. That wasn't what I thought it was. Where'd the pansies go? Oh, I got to cheat. Okay. Pansy Petals 28 and 29.
That's not cheating. That's just showing folks how you can find it quickly.
Yes. Okay, so there's the card. Like I seriously just copied it straight from the catalog. The one change I made is I did a green layer instead of the white. They did kind of white behind the scalloped. And it looks like maybe they have a taller card. Like I know in Europe they have different
A4s.
Yeah, card size. So I just did the regular, 8.5 by 5.5 for the United States. But otherwise, I seriously just copied everything. These were a little tricky too. I actually stamped off polished pink twice. So I stamped off, and then stamped to get the really, really, really light pink. Anyway, very detailed cards. This is like, let me show you. This is a Julie card. Like a couple flowers, right? A couple leaves, like really clean and simple. And then this is like the totally stepped up. And I don't know how well you can see it in the video, but there's a little like sponging in the background. So I added that as well. onto the scallop rectangle. Okay, one more that I copied. Two more that I copied. This one was inspired by this sample. And I just made the yellow smaller and changed instead of doing like a little banner, I did the scallop, but I have the little stamped and die cut flower here. And then the polished pink ribbon. I love the way that turned out. And then I don't think I showed this one yet. This is the one down here. And this is all die cut designer paper. So again, this is a Julie card, really easy. I can die cut designer paper. I love the little vellum square doily back there. Really, really easy card. So there's so many ways you can dress up, you can dress down, so many ways to use these pansies, whether you're stamping or die cutting with detail or just die cutting the designer paper. You can get many, many different looks. Are you ready to show us what look you went with?
I am. And when you showed the bumblebees, it was like, oh, mine just came. So I went and grabbed them so I could stick one on mine too. So.
Oh, good.
Okay, so hi, everybody. Julie, that was wonderful. That really was. You are spectacular. Woo. All right, so I am going to, and some of you may have made them here. Maybe you've seen them, maybe you haven't. I'm going to show you how to do an arrow card using this pansy petal stuff. So I've got a piece of soft succulent cardstock, and we're just going to jump right in here. So we're going to get out our paper trimmer and scoring tool. Oh, before we do that though, I'm going to set it over here for a minute. What we need to do is this is just a regular 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And we're going to do some more scoring on this one too. So, and folding. So you want to make sure that you have a bone folder handy and a pencil. You're going to want to do a little bit of marking on this too. All right. So what I'm going to do is I use my grid paper a lot for measurements. So I hope you can see this okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a little pencil tick mark on the bottom of the front of the card. And we're going to do this at 2 3/4. So 2, 2.5, 2 3/4. And you want to make sure your tick mark is right at the bottom, because if you put it up too high, it's gonna mess up your fold. All right, so then you on either side, you want to place one at 2 1/4. So let me just make sure I'm right in the corner. So 2 1/4. And then I'm going to turn this around and and do it at 2 1/4 again. So 2 1/4. All right. Now we're going to bring in our paper trimmer. We're going to use the scoring blade. So I'm just going to move some of the stuff out of the way. So just remember that the scoring blade is the lighter of these. Well, it's not really a blade, but the lighter one. I'm going to put my cutting blade down so I don't accidentally use it, because we've all done that, right? Okay, so now I want to line up that little pencil tick mark on the bottom in the middle with one of the sides. So that's up there, and we're going to score that. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to take that bottom tick mark and find our other side tick mark in the track. I do this fine by myself. I'm just so worried about messing it up. Okay, so we're not quite done yet. So now we're going to take that same bottom pencil tick mark, and we're going to go all the way up to the fold. So the halfway score line, kind of doing the same thing. So I'm going to find that. Make sure I'm there. And we're going to score that. And same thing on this side. So we're going to find that bottom tick mark, go up to the fold. Let me just slide this down a wee little bit. And actually, one of my team members demonstrated this at one of our team meetings. Okay, so now we have our, and I hope you can see it okay on the camera. We're not done with that, so don't put your blade away. So can you see those?
Yeah. I
Score
think so.
lines, okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so now we're gonna score it. We're gonna fold it in. Take your bone folder because you want a really good crease along here. And then we're gonna fold this back. Same thing on this side. We're gonna fold it forward. Fold it back. So we have our little arrow card. All right. And now just have a good crease at the halfway mark so that you have something that looks like this. Well, it
That's
shouldn't
so
look something
awesome.
like it. It should look like this. All right, let me just, maybe this will be easier to see how the fold goes.
Yeah.
Okay,
I love
Okay.
it.
all right. So now I took a piece of the designer series paper. And as Julie pointed out, our paper lately, I just love both sides. Sometimes you have a side that you go, I don't really like that side. But all of our paper so far, I just love both sides. So it's nice that we're going to be able to use both sides of this one. All right, so we're going to bring our cutting and scoring tool back. Well, first we got to mark it. Sorry. So on this one, this is a 5" by 4" piece of designer series paper, and this side is so busy it might be hard to see the pencil tick marks, so I'm going to make them on this side. And this isn't just scoring, this is going to be a cutting. So we're going to mark this on the bottom again, but at 2.5, so half of 5. So we're going to make our little mark there. And that's the only mark we have to make, because now what we're going to do is we're going to cut, and we're going to cut from that little pencil tick mark up to the top of that. So this is a cut. So use your darker blade. Same thing on the other side. You're going to turn it around. You're going to find that tick mark. And cut. So now you have 3 triangles. Now you can put that away. We'll bring our card base back. And there's a number of ways you can do this. There's only going to be one way that this triangle fits on here. So if you try to match it up and it doesn't, keep turning it till you get the right one. And so you'll also notice that when you go to glue this down, you're going to have a little bit wider margin here than down at the bottom, and that's okay. So then you can kind of decide how you want to do this. If you want to put your back side down, you can do that. You can do the other way around, just flip this around this way. And you can have all 3 colors the same.
Ooh.
Flip this around and do that. Whatever you like. It's your card, right? So, all right, so now we're ready to do some gluing. And so I've got a piece of basic white. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue or adhere my corners on. And I think I'm going to leave it the way I just did it. So I'm going to.
Are your flowers upside down though?
Oh, Lordy. What did? Yeah, I think they are.
So I think you can just be yellow. They're still upside down.
They are, and they're going to stay upside down. All right, and for this project especially, I like to use liquid glue just to make sure I'm matching them. And you really don't have to, if you don't want to put that white piece down first, you don't have to, but I did.
I like, then you can write on the white. I think that's a good.
Yeah, or stamp. Which is what I'm going to do. And on the sample that I didn't put the white in, and it's still okay because you can always write, stamp on a piece of white and make like a little label or something to put it in there. Oops, oh shoot. This is why I like the liquid, because it slides. Okay. And now we can glue this on the inside. I love these little arrow cards.
They're so cute. I've been meaning to try one, and
they're really not that difficult.
I know, you make it look so easy.
It's just the folding. I mean, it's just a different fold once you get the fold down. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and put this guy. No, I'm going to use the yellow side, I said, right? Yeah. Okay. I got glue on my fingers. That's the downside to the liquid glue.
That's why I don't like it, because I always get it on my fingers.
Yeah, personal preference for sure. I like that I can just smush it around till I get it where I want it. Okay, so there is our basic card, right? So next I took, what did I use here? This little label is from the Stitch So Sweetly dies, which I absolutely love, and I use them a lot. They pretty much just stay out on my die cutting table. And then Julie pointed out that you could fussy cut flowers or die cut. So for this card, I fussy cut. So, and you can pick anything. I just happened to pick this little pink flower. So not bad to fussy cut, really. And so let me put that aside. And I'm going to stamp happy birthday. I might send this to Aunt Kathy, Julie, for her birthday.
Oh, I think she'll like this one.
But I'll make it so that the flowers aren't upside down. Right? Okay, so I'm using evening evergreen, not early, evening. And, and I'm going to stamp it kind of in this little corner here. And then I'm just going to use I think I'll put this on first. Let me get rid of this before I.
Would it make sense, like, if you turned the card so that it opened down instead of up?
What do you mean?
Well, then you wouldn't have to redo your designer paper. Like if you just turned it around so that the point of the arrow was up instead of down. No, like just the fold at the bottom of the card instead of the top.
Oh, I don't know. It's this way now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stick my my label up here on the card and use some of my handy dandy glue dots. Love. Oh, I was going to pop that puppy up. I meant to pop that up with dimensionals, but oh well. So I'm just going to use some glue dots because I want to make sure each leaf is down, and it's so fragile, as you can see. You got to be careful because the stem is so thin. Oh, look what I just did. Yep, that's why. That's okay. We will make this work. So I'm going to put this guy here. Stuck to my finger. And I'm just going to stick this guy like right here.
There, you don't even know.
Yeah, exactly. And then we'll take one of our little bumblebees. Put that on with I like that it's flat on the bottom. The ladybugs had like a little, concave guy in there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I want him facing the other way. Turn around, Bumblebee. There we go.
Oh my gosh, so cute.
Isn't that cute? And then for the inside, I've got this little stamp set or a little stamp. Wishing you a little extra happiness just because you're you. So that can just go right in the middle here. So we have an inside greeting.
Love it.
And then you can put some adhesive down here if you want the flaps to be. So this is the one that I did. Oh, one more thing to finish here. So this is the one that I finished, and I'll add a little bumblebee. This may be the one I send to Aunt Kathy because the flowers are the right way. But I did put one of our in color gems.
Oh,
Love these. So on my sample one, I put a polished pink one. But really, any one of these would work. So I'm going to let you decide this one, Julie. So here is, so here's one with the pale papaya. And then here's a evening evergreen. And then here's the soft succulent. And then there is the fresh freesia.
I kind of like the pale papaya.
Yep, I've got, yes. I'm so glad I got a bunch of these. Because that's, I know you can't see it, but in the very center of this one, that is pale papaya. So, yeah, see, doing this on camera never works, right?
Those
Okay.
ink colored gems are back in stock too. They were not orderable for a while.
Yes. So here's one with the papaya, and here's one with the polished pink gem. And
oh my gosh, I love it.
I know, I just love this card. And so the other one that I did, this was I think I did this club. So again, I used the pansies and I die cut a couple of the pansies out here. Oh, and I could put a bumblebee on this one too. And maybe a couple of the gems here. Oh yeah, I sure will. And then this is the gingham side, which is the flip side of this on the fresh freesia.
I love it. I don't know which one I like more.
I know it's really hard to decide. I mean, this paper is just so great for it. Let's get out of there. So anyway, those are that's the arrow card.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. I think I like the one you made today better with the darker colors. But
I was originally going to use the evening evergreen for the card base, but I couldn't see the score lines. I couldn't even see my pencil mark. So I said I need a lighter color here. I think the
soft succulent works. They're both so awesome. Oh
my
God.
All those colors are in there. If you look at this paper, I mean, there are so many colors that you could use with this paper. So yeah, that's that's the arrow card tutorial. And I will put the measurements in the description and see if I can bullet point how to do it. If anybody has questions, they can just certainly get a hold of me, and I'd be happy to send them to, because I did, for my club members, I did come up with a tutorial and actually drew so they could see what were cut lines, what were score lines, so what it should look like as they were working on it. So if anybody is interested in this, I can certainly send it to them.
Are you going to put that up on your blog?
And it might already be on my blog, but I might just redo it again with the second card, but I'll have to double check if I put that tutorial up there. Do you know if I can attach a document on YouTube?
Well, I mean, you can add a link to the video description. So yeah, we'll just add a link to your blog post in the video description so people can find your tutorial there with the pictures and print that out so they can make it at home. That's so cool.
Yeah. It really, I mean, all my Hostess Club members, when they saw it, their eyes just about bugged out of their head. And then after they got done, they said, well, that wasn't bad at all. That was so easy. So anyway, please don't be intimidated by it.
I should have gone first because I don't want to follow that.
Look at you.
But here's my card. I really should have thought that through a little more, because I knew you were going to show that arrow card, and it really is just so impressive. I do have a fun fold to share with you. This is a double Z fold, so not as fancy as the arrow folds card, but I'm going to use some designer paper and some die cuts from the paper to make this card. So it's going to be super, super easy. I will have the list of measurements in the video description, and Mom, I'll send those to you so you can copy and paste in your video.
Awesome.
Wow.
Thank you.
We're starting with a card base that is 4 1/4 by 11 inches. So this is just a regular half sheet of cardstock cut the long way. And we're scoring at 5 1/2, which is like doing it in half, and then we're going to score at 8 1/4. So 5 1/2 and 8 1/4, which is essentially folding it then back in half on itself. So folding it in half and folding it in half again. So we've got our Z folds. I'm trying to think if I did this the right way. Yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. So our Z fold, so fold it in half, fold it back. And then the smaller Z fold, this is Evening Evergreen, is 3 1/4 by 10 inches. And we're going to score at 4 1/2 and 7 1/4. So very similar. And again, this is folding it or scoring it. Actually, it's not scoring it quite in half and back. It's a little bit It's a little bit different from that, but those are the measurements that you need. Okay, puppies, go away. 3 1/4 by 10 inches. And then again, score it 4 1/2 and 7 1/4. And then for the pieces that are going to go on top for the front, the designer paper is 3 by 4 1/4. So that's going to be for the front. And then the next 2 panels are the same. They're 3 inches by 2 1/2. So one's going to be designer paper and one's going to be Whisper White cardstock. Got our pieces now for the front of the card. So I'm going to go ahead and start by layering everything onto the smaller card base. And then we're going to add the green card onto the pink card base. So these are just going to center in each of the panels. And before we put the white one down, we're going to stamp the inside sentiments. I love this little stamp set because it's got so many greetings in it, and there are some to go inside the card, just like you used on your card. So for the front of the card, I'm going to use the thank you, and I'm stamping an evening evergreen. And then for the inside, it says, the little things you do make such a big difference. So just enough room to sign underneath. And then I've got a little bit of coordinating designer paper that's 1/2 inch by 2 1/2 inches. Just to kind of tie in the colors again. And I was thinking I should fussy cut a little flower to go in the inside. I might have to add that later, but for now, I just have the die cut flowers that are going to go on the front. So I've got some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of these, and I was just going to add those and then the leaves. So I'm going to take the Stampin' Dimensionals off and add them on. This designer paper is the same one you used, and it has like flowers in so many different colors. So you can mix and match. Like this one's going to be pink, but I could make the same card and I could die cut some yellow flowers or some purple flowers. There's not a wrong way. I'm going to use my glue dots too to stick the leaves on. And I'm going to have 2 be over here. And 1 over here. I want to make that a little bit closer. There we go. How does that look?
Oh, it's great. It's very pretty. I love this card. I haven't done a double Z fold in a little bit.
I know. I had one that was a swap card that was sort of just floating around my stamp room. And it has been a little while since I made one. And so I thought, oh, I'm gonna do this. I get sort of addicted sometimes to like card layouts, and I do them over and over again, because really, like, you change up the paper, you change up, you know, the colors, and you have like a totally different card. Okay, so for this card, we're going to attach this part to the front and this part to the back. And I want the end result to be centered on the back. So I'm going to start with that back. I always use tear and tape when you have multiple layers like this that move. So I'm going to add some tear and tape to the back panel.
Have you tried Seal Plus with that? I wonder how that would work.
I have to find my Seal Plus. I was looking for it the other day, and I don't know what I did with it. I also added some to the back flap here right now while I have the tear and tape off. So you just want to make sure that you have nothing right by that fold line. So I'm only going to take off the tear and tape for that back part. Okay. And then I'm going to center on the back of the card. So that looks about right. Now I can just sort of make sure that's glued down good. I still have that tear and tape on the back of this. And if I close this card and then peel this off, I should be able to just put it flat down like that, and it's going to be centered in the front and centered you know, when the whole card is open. So that's how I do it. I center like the whole thing on the back panel and then glue the front part down. So glue this so it's closed and then flip this over.
Nice.
Easy peasy. So when it stands up, you've got that sort of like, I don't know, almost like a box, like a little, anyway, double Z fold, because you have the Z, two Z pieces. And there's the card. So not quite as fancy as the arrow card, but
oh, I don't know, Julie. That's beautiful. That really is nice.
I think it needs a B.
Mhm.
It's like it needs one more thing. Although I also love your idea of the little in color gems. I'm going to add a B right now, and then I might add some gems to it when I'm all done. Oh my gosh, the B just makes it, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. It really does. That is fantastic.
So awesome. Okay, let me switch the cameras over so we can see our cute faces.
You're so cute.
There you are.
Okay, so here we go. This is my arrow card with the bee and the little gem and the inside. And I think I am gonna glue these flaps down a little bit just so it's not completely popping. It does lay down eventually, but a little glue there will help it along. So, all right, Jay.
I love it. I'm definitely gonna try that arrow card. And here is the double Z fold card. And like I was saying at the beginning, whether you have the Pansy patch designer paper and the whole suite or not, you can absolutely make either one of these cards with any designer paper and any stamps that you have at home. So I hope that we've inspired you. We'll definitely include the list of measurements and the links to the tutorials so that you can remake these cards at home. I can't wait for you to share what you've made, whether it's in person or on one of our Facebook groups. We would really love for you to share if you try one of these cards.
Oh, wow. Yeah, what a day. Hey, so what are we doing next week?
Next week, I think we're sharing some designer paper projects using the host paper. What is it called? I keep forgetting the name.
Let me look real quick because I've forgotten too. It's it is called Pattern Party.
Pattern Party. I keep wanting to call it Pattern Play. I think maybe there was a different designer paper that was called that, or a stamp set, but
I think you might be right, but Pattern Party. And it's a huge, huge pack of paper that's exclusive to hosts or those who place a qualifying order.
Yes. And because of that, I feel like it's kind of hidden in the catalog. So maybe you haven't noticed it. You'll have to look for it towards the back of the catalog, but we're going to showcase it next week on Sunday, June 27th at noon Central Time, 1:00 p.m. Eastern Time. And you'll definitely want to tune in to see what we've got to share with you. Well, until then, Mom, have a great week.
You as well, Julie. This
Thank
is so
you.
much fun. I'm so glad we're doing this.
Yes, me too.
Anyway, I love you very much. You have a good week. Hug my grandbabies for me, even my grandpuppies.
Love
and
you
until
too.
next week. Bye,
Until
everybody.
next week. Bye.